Hello.
What's going
Hey,
on,
how y'all
man?
doing? How y'all doing?
We
Appreciate
all
y'all having
good. We all good on this Friday.
me. Right.
Where you calling us from?
Sunny Southern Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay. How
Yeah.
many kids?
Um, I got 5 altogether. I have 4 biological, 2 girls altogether, 3 boys. The youngest 3 are all boys.
How many different baby mamas?
I got 2 baby mamas and 1 wife.
Okay.
So like slaves.
So how many kids is being alienated?
Um, Originally just 1, which was my oldest daughter, which was my first child, and
How old is she?
she's 16 now. She's 16. Since then, we have me and her mother have at least come to an agreement that it's best for my daughter for me to be in her life. I was actively involved while we were together. Even after we broke up, I was still there. She was with me about 5-6 days out the week. Her mom was in school, so I was the one picking her up, taking her to school. She spent the night with me. Anything she wanted to do at her friend's birthday, I was the one who was there. And as soon as her mom graduated, that power dynamic actually came into play.
Yeah.
And
She
it
ain't
was,
need me no more.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay. So you said it was originally.
So it's better now?
I mean, we don't talk still, but it's amicable. It's cordial. Like, hey.
So how long was the time frame that went by before while you was alienated from that child?
I'd say it started when she was probably about 6, which is when I first got with my son's mom, my two oldest boys' moms, which is who I'm actually dealing with this madness now. I first got with her, and I was a fool because I didn't really know how the game was played. So somebody told me, hey, before you can go for custody, you got to put yourself on child support. I wouldn't put myself on child support, and it was like, oh, you don't automatically get custody. You don't get shared custody automatically. You got to go back for that. So
wow.
I was, and it was one of them things, my son's mom, before, she was just like, I can't believe she's putting you through this. You're a great dad, because she had a daughter, and her daughter was like, her dad, if he did pick her up, he just dropped her off to the grandparents. She's like, oh, you're a great dad. If we had a kid, I'd never put you through this. I don't see how somebody would do that.
Until 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So with the first baby mama, was it a situationship? Was y'all together?
Oh no, we was together. We were engaged. I proposed to her. We primarily broke up because just the way I'm a man.
He was a player.
No, not even that. No, I was 100% faithful to her. But I'm a man. I'm
so
a man.
What that I'm a man mean?
Well, I don't let people talk to me a certain way.
Okay, I can
if
that's
you're
like you.
Like you're talking this way to me, woman. My best friends know not to talk to me this way. I handle people for the way you talking to them. I'm only gonna be too many BANs, PANs, FANs. I'm like, I
don't think no man can handle that.
And then it was just a lack of consideration on her part. I mean, I was probably immature at some parts that I don't know how. She could probably tell you a story, but it came to head. I proposed to her, in front of our child, in front of our newly purchased home. My baby had just been born. I proposed to her, and then like 3 weeks later, she's like, "You should re-propose with a bigger ring." And I'm like, well, "This ain't good enough."
That's a super red flag. I wish I had a red flag right now.
So I hung on for about another year or two, but it just got turmoil. We would be arguing every day, and it came to a head. I remember the day I left. I looked down. My daughter was in between us, like trying to push us apart. She's about 2 at this point, 3.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm not going to raise my kid in the household that I was raised in, with the parents fighting 24/7. So I called it quits. I was like, maybe we'll get back together, maybe we won't, and we didn't. So and I moved on. I did my thing. I wound up with my son's mom, and it was it was good. The first year my son Dash was born, and
so was that a situationship, relationship? What?
That started as a situationship. To one of them things, like, I'll stick around till you ready. That's what she basically said till you ready to really move. Okay. And then, I'm like, okay, she's here for me. She was great with my daughter in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Her daughter and her got along, and we started a relationship. We started talking about long term, and once my son was born, my daughter kind of started getting pushed to the back burner. You know what I'm saying? And I started noticing things like, your daughter wants to break us up. She's trying to break us up. I'm like, she's 4. She said she wants
what?
Yeah, she said you and her mom. She wished you and her mom would get back together. I'm like, that's like what any 4-year-old.
I mean, all kids wish that.
Yeah, and she held that against her. My daughter wound up being, getting the Cinderella treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like having to sleep.
No.
Her daughter would mistreat her. She wouldn't let her in her room. My daughter had to sleep downstairs in the living room. Or I'm like, what? So I was like, okay, I couldn't bring my daughter around there. But then it got to the point where, she also wouldn't let me get, we're together at this point. And I'm like, I can't have no alone time with my son. I can't just take him to a park by myself. She's like, well, why you want to do something by yourself? I'm like, that's what fathers and sons do. I should be able to he should be able to.
Son.
Yeah.
It was starting right then and there. You just didn't know it.
I didn't know it, man. That went on. So I broke up, and we were still we was basically sleeping together in the same house for the kid, and still trying to work ourselves out. Lo and behold, she got pregnant again. Well, I got her pregnant again. It's 50-50. I ain't gonna say she got pregnant. We got pregnant again.
Thank you for that.
And I'm,
accountability.
Oh yeah, I got to. I'm too old not to take it.
Well, now, why did you do that? That's the $1 million question. Everybody want to know out there. After you got these problems,
be transparent. Like be 100% clear, because a lot of women will think, and I know you're married now, so we want to respect your wife as well, right?
Most definitely.
But just be clear, because women tend to think just because you did that a second time that you liked it, you wanted it, it was this and that, and it may not happen.
Because why would you get her pregnant again? You already said you ain't like her.
Yeah, I would. I was hoping. Yeah. I was hoping for the best. I try to, hey, maybe it's gonna work out. It'll work out. It'll possibly work out.
No, was the second baby was planned?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
I
one of them
did
things.
ask you to be transparent. So
yeah, we were having unprotected sex, and it was like, if he does have, if we do get pregnant, okay, cool. The oldest boy we'll be cool to have. We had 2 little boys we could raise together.
You thought it was gonna make things better.
I'm an idiot, or at least I was at that point in time. So yeah, and it didn't. It didn't.
So wait, I have to ask you this question before we continue, because I almost forget. Who's the deadbeat?
Due to me being in court, I got 2 court trials, 2 court hearings next month. I can only just say I'm not the deadbeat. I'm not the deadbeat. You
have 2?
Huh? Yeah.
Why?
2 separate kids?
No, on her. 2 contempt charges filed against me on 2 separate dates. And yeah, she's just at this point.
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there.
Okay.
So,
all right. So now y'all together.
Baby number 2.
Yeah, that's the baby mama, the second baby mama. Y'all got the baby number 2. Now what?
Well, before baby number 2 was even born, we was like, okay, and that's when I started. Yeah, we was real rocky, and that's when I started. I went to my class reunion that September, and I ran into my first girlfriend, and
oh my God,
who wound up being my wife. This is my wife now.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
no,
so
I know where we going with it. I'm just saying the set.
Yeah, and and we was all, but my God, all right.
At least you married her.
Yeah, I married her
together, right?
And it was
meant to be.
That's one thing. We was meant to be. The reason we broke up when we was kids was on some stupid stuff. But I can admit, my son's mom did not get the treatment that my daughter's mom got. As far as me being faithful, I was not. I was out here. I was really out here. I was getting flued out and everything. They was.
Damn, you was in these streets.
Bro. I was the streets, bro. For real. I was out here wilding, and I think
that's why I wasn't working out. But that don't mean you're not a good father.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't working out. And I'm pretty sure my son's mom caught wind of that. And a lot of her disdain towards me stems from me being unfaithful, you know, on that level.
Yes.
On that level. I
But
never.
you said she away for you though, right?
Well, this was after she said that before we got together. So she
Oh,
said, "I'll
okay.
wait for you." We got together. We having kids, and it's like,
Now it's time. The clock is ticking.
yeah,
Gotcha.
it was one of them things, man. And you
So
know
you
that's
got with your girlfriend, old girlfriend, which is now your wife, and
and you know well, I filed for my son was born, and my youngest son was born in 2019 in January. And you know, she still wouldn't let me just get him by myself, even though we ain't together. And I'm like, I'm calling her brother, like, hey, because me and him got a real good relationship. I'm like, man, you know, your sister won't let me get the kid by myself. He's befuddled, like, this ain't how we raised. She said, I'm gonna call her and talk to her. And you know, no talking ever came. And then I remember on my son's his birthday, she wouldn't send him out because I'm supposed to pick. She said, yeah, you can send him out. Now, mind you, when she did start letting me get him, he would come over to my house because she couldn't get him to sleep. Basically, my son he's a wild kid. At least he
this
was
the
back as a
second
baby.
baby, right? The youngest.
Well, my first son, he
Oh,
was
okay,
wild. This
first.
is before, and then she finally let me get him. Think I'm gonna have all these troubles by myself, and I wouldn't. It would be just
Okay.
forced. So she'd be like, okay, well, he ain't got no problem, you know, having him by himself, and she wouldn't let me get him. And then one day, you know, we talking, and she just like, we going at it. Like, look, I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to take him to this birthday party or what have you. And she said, no. She said, you ain't never gonna get your son by yourself. And
Wait, so this before she got pregnant with the second baby she
no,
was?
this is after. This is after.
So why is she only giving you one and not both kids?
Well, the one was still breastfeeding. He's a baby, you know what I'm saying? And it was just older, like a birthday party for like
That's bullshit.
They always come with this
You know you can
breastfeeding.
pump breast milk and put it in the bottle. Now I know
Oh,
you don't.
yeah, and she wouldn't.
How old was he? Because we'll give her 3 months. Like, okay,
Oh
you
no,
don't.
no, he was about 3 or 4 months at that point in time.
Okay, so after that mark, she should have allowed you to take him as
I
well.
still couldn't, you know, and he it hit the fan, man. She knew she was one of them people she know, you know, like most men, you know, you push your button so much, you know, you might
Yeah.
spaz. And she said that to me, and then she hit record, and then boy, you got me over there spazzing out on her, you know, cussing her out. And you know, she used that, you know, went down, you know, put me on. I got a check, a letter from child support the next week. I'm on child support all of a sudden. I can't talk to my kids. I'm begging to talk to her. She won't let me see him, and it just steamrolled from there, you know. And you know, I went filed the first time in September of 2019. And you know, as soon as she get wind of that, oh, now I can get the kids. I'm like, okay, well, we cool now. Maybe I ain't got to go to court. I don't want to involve my kids in court. And I think that's the mistake that most men make. Like the first gentleman was saying, you know,
Definitely.
you don't want to involve the kids anymore. I mean, the court anymore. And I played. And then as soon as that date came and went, that we didn't go, boom, right back on the same stuff. You know,
Wow.
this is in the middle of COVID too. So I'm like,
Oh
okay, now
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
really
so it
filed.
really was easy to play with that because we know a lot of stuff stopped.
Stopped.
And yeah.
Stopped. Like I went and filed. Okay. In December, I'm like, nah, I'm filing. I filed in November. They set a date for December. They're like, oh well, we got to push it back to January. Oh no, we got to push it back to March. Oh, we can't. I ain't get my day in court until August. I get custody of the kids. My kids, hunky dory. We all fine. I drop them off. She say that he came home with a busted lip or something, which he didn't. We was at my uncle's house, you know, who she loved. She loved my uncle. He was like, no, nothing happened. But she kept me from my kids. First time she's ever found in contempt was due to this, you know. And I just
So
had
what
to
was the
just,
contempt about? Did you did what exactly?
you know, well, she basically said he can't go. He can't go with you. And they ain't going with you. And I'm like, well, I was confused because I didn't have a lawyer at this point in time.
So how can hold on? Stop. Let me stop you real. So how can she file a contempt? So
No, no,
did
no,
you?
no. Due to her keeping me from the kids, I wouldn't file.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay.
file. Like this is when I started filing the motion to show cause. The
But
motion.
so did you have an order already
Yes, I had a standing
for
order.
both kids?
Yep, for both
Okay.
kids.
And what year did you get that order?
I got that August of
During COVID
2000,
2020.
2020.
Okay.
So
Okay. And what were some of the steps? Did you have to take the paternity test or?
no, I didn't have to take no paternity test. It was just just file. She fought it. You know, I'm clearly trying to play like I'm a maniac. I was a pro fighter at one point in time, so she played that like, oh, he got the capacity to be violent. She played that card, like, and but the judge like, nah, standard orders granted. So I get my one day a week on Wednesday, and I get
So what was the percentage? Like 50-50 or
nope. In Ohio, they don't. In Ohio, the way they play it is you don't get shared custody unless the custodial parent agrees to it. The custodial parent has to agree to it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's the way it plays.
man.
Unless somebody's just
Please
really,
tell
really
us
messing
what
up.
amount of time you had with your kids.
You said say that one more time. I'm sorry.
What amount of time did you have with your kids after y'all went to court?
Wednesdays and every other weekend, and I got my holidays, So yeah, but
well, that's pretty much almost like 50-50, A lot of orders are standard that way. So I get it. Like even here in Texas, they don't use the term 50-50. They don't use the term it's joint conservatorship. So that's typically like how it goes. So I thought you were gonna say something more crazier than that, but okay.
Well, I mean, to a guy like me, like a lot of men, I've done everything. I've chased all my dreams. I've crossed all the bucket lists. It took me a while to realize I don't want to do nothing but be a family man and be a dad.
Right. You want to be with your kids, right?
So somebody like me, I can't call my kids. She wouldn't let me call them, which is in the order. The open line of communication has to be respected. I can't call my kids.
And she probably be earshot of the conversation every time you do
listening to what y'all talking about.
I FaceTime them. She in the background acting like she cleaning up, sweeping and stuff, bro. It's crazy. It is crazy. She right there in a little nightgown, like vacuuming and stuff. And I'm like,
oh man, not the nightgown.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and for that time period when I couldn't see my kids because we had to go back to court. COVID's still happening, so they pushing back the dates even more.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going over there. I got pictures of me standing outside while my kid is in the house playing Dance Revolution or something. That's as close as I could get to my kids. I couldn't take them, even though I had. She's like, "No, you can't take them to our court date." So I had to play, and then it just kept going. It just kept going, and I filed probably about 8 times, 8 separate occasions on for motion to show cause or motion,
trying to enforce the order.
Trying to enforce the order. That's all I want, and
so you finally got your court date. You finally got your enforcement, and then what?
It took about almost 4 years for me to finally get any type of change. Yeah. Well, no. I went to custody. I mean, when they said it again, after she first did it, she didn't just keep them from me again. She wouldn't do that, but she would miss holidays on purpose.
Yeah.
Or, it would be
little stuff here and there still happening, but trying to make it seem like, oh, it was because of this.
Or I forgot, or I didn't know, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She showed, and it just, it just snowballed into, it happened. But majorly, the major change came when my son was in first grade. It would have been, I think, 2022. Where she was staying had mandatory construction. It was like public housing, and apparently they gave her an opportunity. You can either move, to the city where we're from, which is where she wouldn't want. She actually got the public housing in like one of the best school districts in Ohio, so her daughter could go there. So my son's going to that school district. So she's like, you can either move back to where we're from or move, to a hotel temporarily. She chose to move to the hotel temporarily, and and I believe that was because I was so active. I would go to my son's school because my standard order allows me to participate in anything he's doing. So I don't care if it's a Halloween party, Christmas party,
exactly.
I'm going there to read to the kids in class, everything.
Man, say that louder for them fathers in the back because they don't be understanding.
Right, you need to be showing up.
Everything.
Active.
Everything. Judo practice, everything. I'm there watching. Like this allows me more time with my son. And he sees that, I actually care. Like, I really care, son. We can meet your friends, your teachers, whoever. And so she withdrew him from school under the guise that she was going to start homeschooling. Mind you, I don't know what hotel they at. I don't know. I can't call them throughout the day. We meet at the police precinct and that's it. So, it's really coming to a head at this point in time. And then February of that year, I went to go see my kids at their judo practice. Now, mind you, I won't get too much into that, but I go to see them. Only one of them's there, the younger one. I start approaching him. She runs, snatches his hand, and goes into the back. Or I'm thinking it's a back door. She's leaving the building. So I sat there for a little bit. They ain't come back. All right, I see his jacket right there. Well, I get him the next day. Grab the jacket, go to my car. I'm about to drive off. I do stand-up comedy. I'm about to go do some stand-up. As I'm pulling off, I just hear, you dirty MF or something. Somebody yelling, and as I'm driving off, getting out the park, it's her running full speed behind me, screaming and cussing. So I'm like, I almost slammed on the brakes, but I'm like, nah, she gonna hit the back of the car and say, so I just peel off. I peel off, and I told you, I'm like, next day that's a Wednesday.
Right.
I'm getting the kids. I'm about to leave the house. I get a knock at the door. It's the sheriff's restraining order. She said I tried to hit her with the car
while she was behind it.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So long story short, I'm able to find the detective. I tell her what happened. She's like, well, first of all, nobody who's guilty just goes out above and beyond to call the detective. So I'm like, can you find surveillance footage? She's like, that's what we're looking into. So I still can't get my kids. I got a restraining order. I got to go to court for all this. And then the prosecutor calls me the following week. He's like, so did this happen? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, we're going to move forward filing charges on her for filing false reports. I'm like, so did anybody is there video involved? He's like, I believe so. Has a detective called you? He said, I'm like, no. So the detective called me. She like, look, I reviewed the video. We was able to get it from the church across the street. Won't he do it? The church across the street had the surveillance video. Dude, I would be in jail right now.
Man, you can laugh at this stuff now.
Bro.
Don't think we laughing at your pain.
No.
Because we done been through it before, but it's just crazy. It's unbelievable, man.
If you know, you know. And we know. We know.
And she's like, look, I reviewed the video. She told us that you sped at her. She had to jump over the car like an action hero, to get out the way. She said, I didn't see any of that. I seen you peeling off and her chasing after your car like a crazy person.
Man, that's crazy.
And she's like, I was like, so will you be able to come to court, to testify? I'm like, I'll be there. She wound up pleading guilty to that, got, sent it to anger management. She was facing like 180 days suspended, probation, all types of stuff. But in the meantime, I'm trying to file, like, look, this is the woman that I'm dealing with.
Hey, did you got that video?
Yep. Dude, I got all the videos, bro.
You gotta send it.
You gotta send us
I got
all
the videos.
You gotta send us that video.
That's unbelievable.
And there's the thing, like, so I'm trying to I'm like, look, I'm trying to get this change of custody because of what I'm going through. And then, lo and behold, I start reading like what's eligible for homeschooling, because she's supposedly homeschooling my kids since February. The new school year is starting. She's still homeschooling. So I'm like, I read the report. They okayed it in the school district where she was at. I'm like, y'all ain't supposed to okay none of this. She's supposed to show like some sort of documentation of what is being taught, assessments, like the workbooks that they're doing, everything. There's no list of this. How is she okay for this? And they're like, oh, well, they no longer have to show it this school year. I said, nah, that starts in October 3rd, homie. We're still in September. Y'all supposed to have this. So then I was able to show all that to my lawyer. She was like, okay, I still can't guarantee you're gonna get them, but so that was we went to court. Let me see, the 28th, and then on October 5th, I was like, let me just call down there, and the lady's like, look, I can't tell you what happened or what, but you need to come get this paperwork now. She's like, I will put it off to the side for you. Just come on. You want to look at this, and I go and get it. She had to tell her. She's like, I just want to say congratulations. I'm like, I'll look at it. I had to look at it 3 times. I went to the car and cried because they granted me full custody, And
congratulations.
Yeah, so
congratulations.
It was one of those things, man. It's like I cried in the car. Called my wife. She's like, "You did it, baby." And mind you, I'm ready to give up. I was ready to give up because I'm like, after me facing these charges of all this, I'm like, I'm done. My wife was like, nah, you gonna keep fighting, because she was in a relationship. Her daughter,
That's what my wife told me.
Yeah, that's what bruh. Man, a good woman in your corner ain't not like it. Ain't like it, bro.
Yeah, because that was my next question to you. How was she?
How was that? Right.
How was she handling all of this?
Yeah, that's a lot.
When you, from a woman's perspective, especially if they already got a kid prior to the relationship, if their child's father isn't doing half of what you're attempting to do, you know, that they see that. And she's like, and every time a woman hear my story, they're like, I can't believe she would just keep you from these kids. Like, I wish my dad, my kid's dad did half as much. I hear that so much every time I tell this story. Like,
yes.
For me, I'm not a perfect man. I'm not a perfect man, but I don't believe this is what I learned from my dad, because my dad was in and out of my life. I'm a first generation American, so you know, if you know African dads, like he's here and there. And I realized you don't got to be perfect to be a good dad. You don't got to be perfect to be a great dad. You know what I'm saying? And that's I have my faults. I have my shortcomings. You know what I'm saying? But my goal is not to pass that on to my kids. And the best way for me to do that is to be actively involved in their life. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, these generational curses that you hear about, the only way you're going to be able to break them is if you're actively involved in their lives.
You got to do something about it.
So what do you think her whole motive was behind all of this?
Do you think once you got with your wife, that's the fire?
Oh, that definitely did not help. That definitely, because I think at that point, before that, she was probably thinking he gonna come back. He gonna come back. And you know, I had moved on. You know,
trying to use your kids to.
But you said she was like already, you know, pretty much alienating kids beforehand. So it's like she had the tendencies already, and I guess that just must have just sent over.
She's seen what my daughter's mom did, you know, to the point where she's like, I hate her. I hate her for what she's doing.
And turned around and did
she got the blueprint from my daughter's mom. Well, mind you, I'm a little older, a little wiser, a little more patient now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know this game. So, okay, you ain't just going to keep me from my kids. I will actually go and file for custody now. I'm going to actually fight this. You know, because, you know, the older we get, the better we get at being men. You know what I'm saying? I believe you're supposed to, at least, you know, that's come with maturity and learning from your faults, from your mistakes, from your shortcomings, from your losses. And I'm like, I'm not going to let this happen again. And, you know, lo and behold, she couldn't stand my daughter's mom. They became best friends. She going over there, hanging out, telling stories like, oh, this and that. She using my daughter. Like, oh, yeah, you were such a sweetheart. No.
Not the daughter that she mistreated.
Exactly. You know, my daughter, she just likes to, my daughter, she wants to be liked. So she kind of fell for it until she's like, you need to come to court and testify against your daddy. My daughter was like, no, like, I'm not. No, you know, and so it became, you know, and that's how far she was willing to go. You know what I'm saying? You've told me you hate this woman. You've mistreated my daughter, but you're willing to go the extra mile to just get in
to get what she wants. To get what she wants.
You know, and my daughter's mom went along with it for a while.
So what was her kid's father?
Which one?
You said she had how many kids?
Oh, my son's mom.
Yeah,
one daughter.
Her dad. Well, her dad wasn't really around. I was raising her while we was together. I'm the one taking her to cheerleading or gymnastics class or judo class.
I wondered if she run him off.
But that's the more I hear about it, the more I think he did. But you know, he was very irresponsible too. But I'm pretty sure with her antics, I mean, that didn't help the situation at all either.
Yeah, I mean, it don't matter. If you ain't there for those kids, there ain't nothing to really talk about.
So how long have you had custody?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
How long have you had custody?
This is a year. This week. This is a full year. This week.
And what are the two upcoming court dates?
I don't know. This summer. Trying not to say too much. My son's a victim of abuse. I mean, I've documented it over and over. And after
the oldest boy,
both of them, both my boys. You know, from what they told me, from what they told therapists, from what they told police, you know what I'm saying? It's been an ongoing issue, you know. And my thing is, I don't say how people are supposed to raise their kids. I don't like how you discipline your kids is how you discipline your kids. But me being older and where I'm at in life, if I can't talk to them and get through their head, beating them, I'm just beating them because I'm just scared they ain't gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? Or they gonna get each other in trouble? Because, you know, I was a parent who believed in whoopings, you know, but then I realized, you know, I hate with my daughter, I'm like, I'm really whooping her out of fear. It's fear. You know what I'm saying? If I can't talk to her, whooping ain't really gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna subside my fear. So I think that's where a lot of parents, that mix of anger and fear, that's where that hitting comes in. Now my kids, I've never seen them do anything that warrants them getting smacked in the face with a shoe or beat with belts or anything. You know what I'm saying? But this is what happens, So I'm like, and there was more stuff happening. Like, hey, say this, lie to the police, and say your dad did this. I'll get you a Nintendo Switch if you say, that type of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? And I just kept
So the alienation is even still happening with you having full custody.
Yeah, it's severe.
And
so
then,
with the full custody, how much time does she get?
They reversed everything. The judge reversed everything. So, they reversed. She get the 1 day a week and on Wednesdays and every other weekend. They reversed the whole insurance thing. Reversed child support. They reversed where the pickups happen. It used to happen in the city she lived in at the police department. It now happens at mine. If you watch that video, you see she was mad about that. She's like, "Oh, he put this in the report." And no, the judge just reversed everything. So the same standard, the same order is in place. It's just now I'm the custodian.
The other way, right?
Okay.
It's in your favor. So is she violating it?
Well, I still
other
can't
than the abuse part. What is she like following the schedule? Is she?
She follows the schedule because she wants that time with the kids. So she's more actively involved. Like before I had custody, I was the one taking them to the sporting games and everything. Well, they would miss. Like my oldest son wrestles, and he's good, but she wouldn't take him to none of the practices, and they're like, man, he could be better if he actually showed up. So now she's active. She's more involved. She's like, hey, this was soccer season. She did all the practices, make sure. So that's cool. But it's one of those things, man. I still can't talk to my kids when she has them on the weekends.
Isn't that in the order?
It is in the order. It is in the order. I don't know where they're staying because.
Isn't that in the order?
It is in the order.
She's supposed to let the courts know what she said.
Well,
it's a P.O. box. All the mail goes to a P.O. box. Nobody know. I don't know where she lives. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where my kids are staying. There was a storm last week and 2 weeks ago, and they stayed in the judo gym the whole weekend.
That's dangerous.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We were ordered, and you were talking about parallel parenting. We were ordered to use an app, the Family Wizard app. I cashed out $99. Matter of fact, I forgot to cancel it. They just charged me again. I had to call them, you know what I'm saying? Because she said, I can't afford that. A year later, after we got the sign, a year later, she's saying, I can't afford that.
Well, you talking parents, it's free, I think.
No. Well, he switched it because she said, I can't. When I got custody, that hearing, he was like, well, you can't afford. She's like, if it comes to feeding my babies or having an app, I'm going to feed my babies. Like, okay. So he ordered us to use a free app called App Close. She don't be on there. She'd be like, he don't give me no. I'm going because she's saying I didn't provide none of the soccer or baseball schedules. I'm like, you don't get on the app. You've never been on the app.
Bro, I'm gonna give you a little tip on that. Still
put it in there.
Put it in there.
Oh no. That's what I had because I had to go talk to my. I got assigned a public defender, and he was like, and he's like, so you got the app, and I showed him. He's like, that. So all the information is right there. I'm like, yeah. He's like, screenshot that, and I'm gonna take that to court.
Oh, okay. So she filed the contempt on you.
Yeah, because I kept him away from her. I kept him away from her on all summer, and because I tried to file again for supervised visitation.
Okay.
And we had to wait on the court date for that because it kept getting pushed back, and they didn't grant it to me. So now I'm facing all the contempt charges for not keeping them. But I'm like, if this is what I got to do to keep my kids safe, I'll take that chance.
How do you feel about it? Do you feel confident that you have enough evidence? Because they don't play about you violating that order if you can't really prove that the kids are in imminent danger. How do you feel about that? Because we would hate to see it.
He lost that case already. He going for the
I lost that
now
one,
for holding
they found me in contempt already. For the first couple. Yeah. For the first couple.
It's pretty much like us, but the opposite.
Oh.
She's using the remote. So she filed for he didn't let me see him in June. Now this time she's like, okay, well he didn't let me see him in July. So we're going back for this second part of the summer where I've already.
So was it a TRO that you filed?
Did you get that in place?
No. So when you filed the TRO and then that's what got denied because you ain't have enough evidence.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been there before.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
so did you go through CPS or whatever it's called?
CPS was supposed to come testify,
and they didn't do it.
He didn't even come that day. She didn't even come that day.
Yeah, Been there.
Yeah,
Been
we've
there.
been there, man. So how did that? I want to just tap into how did that make you feel in that moment?
When it was denied,
Yeah, but being the fact that you know something is going on with your kids, I know they made an outcry to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You was at that point, it get denied, and then they have to go back with this person that they saying
Going.
allegedly.
it's hurtful. It hurts, man. It hurts because they're asking me why we got to go back. They're asking me why. You know, it's tough to explain it to an 8-year-old, let alone a 5-year-old. That
Yeah,
this
you supposed to
person,
be the super. Dad is the superhero,
and I can't
and
do nothing
there's
about it.
moments you can't do nothing about
Bro,
it.
it broke my heart. Like they're sitting there crying. You know, like why? What if she hits us again? Like what like they're puzzled. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, because of this process, they've been forced to mature a lot faster than a lot of kids, and I hate that stuff.
Very
I hate that the
fast.
fact that my kids' innocence has been disrupted
Ripped
because of
from
this
them.
madness.
Yes.
You know,
That's so true, man.
And it's just the beginning. You know, a lot of people don't know that. They think once you win custody, that's it. It's a
no,
great win. No,
It's
no,
still a fight,
that's the beginning. It's the
yeah,
beginning.
that's where I'm at. You know,
man. Yeah, we been there.
We definitely
We
been.
right where you at, actually. But we definitely understand where you coming from with that, man. So I know you said you didn't want to dive into that situation, but which one made the outcry? The oldest?
um, the first the first time the abuse happened, my oldest told me that it was happening to my youngest. You know, because my youngest, um, he he was like tongue tied. You know what I'm saying? So you really couldn't make out what he said. You know, I pleaded with her to get him in speech therapy, which they eventually did. Um, but you know, he couldn't really talk for himself. So my oldest told me, like, look, this happened to him. I said, are you serious? Like, yeah, this happened to him. It happens all the time. You know, and that broke my heart. You know, and then the next time it was happening to him. My son's at the point in time he won't talk to nobody. You know, I'm like, bro, talk to the counselor, talk to the teacher. He was like, why? His whole man say, because because it started while he was still in custody. He would tell the therapist, you know, and the therapist, of course, had to discuss it with the mom. He's like, why? I'm gonna tell somebody, they gonna tell mom, ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm gonna get beat some more. That's what
Right.
my
And,
8-year-old
and
mentality
there's
was.
a therapist. She's a
Court
mandate
appointed
reporter,
too,
correct? So she's
yep.
supposed to report that. Man,
They never do. They
that
drop the
system is
ball.
corrupt, man.
They drop the ball every time.
And she would report it. I got documentation where she reported, but CPS don't do nothing. CPS,
At
like,
all.
A
they
lot
don't
of
care
people
out
think
here
they
until the kid
hold
is dead.
weight.
Until
They
the
don't
kid is
hold no
dead,
weight.
you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unalive,
Unalive.
unalive.
Unalive. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, and that's a
they're just
sad
a
thing.
third party agency. Like they don't hold weight. A lot
Yeah,
of people don't know that.
yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so we back at the enforcement. So you got to go through the enforcement because you withheld the kids for the summer.
I mean, did the public defender tell you what the worst case scenario could possibly be?
Nah, but I'm pretty sure, like, worst case scenario, I'll go to jail for a couple days, you know. Which I don't think they'll do that because, like, my kids
Your
need me.
reasoning.
Yeah, and believe me, like, she got sentenced. She was facing probably about, after it was all said and done, due to all the contempt charges that she dealt with, she was facing about 180 days. She never did a day, you know.
Yeah.
She never did a
Yeah.
day, you know, just accumulated
I
6 to
mean,
10 days.
I feel like you would be okay for the
Yeah, they
simple
may
fact
just
that you have proof of why
why
you
you
did
did
it,
it.
and
Yeah.
it was
That
for
can
the safety of the
substantiate it.
kid.
Yeah.
So, but if not, I mean, you
Is it the same judge? Do you know?
Here's the thing. She is a well, I won't say nothing, but
no, don't say nothing to jeopardize your case.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with sovereign citizenship, but she was able to, for somehow, take the judge, the magistrate, and somebody else to federal court. You know, behind all this, behind her losing the kids. Well, they all got removed due to a possible conflict of interest. So now I got a brand new magistrate. Last time I walked in there, I'm like, this
Oh
ain't the
no.
courtroom. Yeah, so it's a brand new magistrate.
What?
But yeah, so she federal charges against the magistrate. That they had their day in court like in January. I've been waiting on that, but yeah, she was able to, because she kept appealing the process trying to get him removed, and she couldn't get him removed. So now she took him to federal court.
But under what though? Because when you appeal, it got to be something that they didn't do legally.
Legal standpoint,
dude, if I showed the first appeal after she lost the kids, started off with her name, a living, breathing woman, do not adhere to these, my property has been taken, right, like unlawfully. Blah. It was sovereign citizen talk, and
I know a little bit about that stuff, but that stuff is a bit much for me. Like,
it's an extremist organization, so
it's a lot. Man. That's a lot. But yeah. I mean, of course, a woman that wants control and loses all control is going to go to whatever measures they possibly can to have some type of control again, and that's what it's about. And so they become dangerous. They become unhinged, and so it's like, it's a lot.
So do she got money? Because it costs a lot to appeal.
But did you see that video I sent you?
No, I didn't see it. We gotta look at that.
The video, y'all posted it.
Which one? You gotta refresh my memory. It's a million of them.
Like 3 days ago. About when I first got custody of my kids and she didn't want to, the police had to come in.
Oh yeah. With the cop standing there.
Yeah. You look different now, man. You done lost some weight or something.
Stress made me fat. So, yeah. Nowadays.
So, that's who we dealing with.
You see the comments?
Yeah.
That's who we dealing with, man.
That's who we dealing with, bro. That's who we dealing with. Yeah, that's who we dealing with. So it's one of them situations where I'm like, and I think I would love to just us amicably co-parent, but I don't think we can, because when you're dealing with somebody who was used to an actual position of power so long, even with her daughter, and now I've come along, I don't think she'll be able to come to terms with that, even as much as I would like. Hey, we can co-parent. We ain't gonna barbecue together. I ain't gonna hang out with you. You ain't coming over to, have a glass of wine or nothing. But we could co-parent. You know what I'm saying? I would love for that to happen, but my kids are better off with me. And the
key thing is she was alienating them. That's the real thing here. Yeah. Anybody that is sick enough to alienate kids and that is stripped from them, oh baby, you in for a ride. You in for a ride, the ride of your life. It is not going to stop.
I know. Let's dive in the video real quick, because I seen in the video that they was only handing you one son. So what was your other son?
Well, okay, and I got a video of that. That was Sunday. That Wednesday prior to that, because I had been calling around that weekend. I found out I had got custody. I was calling around trying to get, like, look, I'm going over to her apartment with the police. I showed up to Judo gym. Her little miscreants and rat-faced friends are kind of like, you don't bring him today. He's here. The police is there with him.
Her what friends?
Her rat-faced friends. Yeah.
I'm use that one.
You should, but no, it's she has a network of enablers, who enable her to move. Most
alienators do.
Yeah, because they mass manipulators, man. They manipulate everybody.
Whole situation. Like that judo gym, that was my judo gym. That's where I would go train people. You know what I'm saying? That's at the point I don't even go back. They in her back pocket, So it's like, okay, I just stay away. But that Wednesday, I'm like, okay, she's gotta show up at least. And I show up, the police are there. And she's playing that game like, well, they don't want to go with you. They don't want to go with you. And then my oldest son's like, he walked off. Like, hey, I'm like, I tried to grab my youngest son. She grabbed his arm. She starts doing the tug of war. I'm looking at the cop like, can you do something? He's like, it's a civil matter. It's a civil matter. So I took my son into the car, and I told him about the actual law that she's breaking. And that's when he was like, okay. His supervisor came and he's like, we're going to review this. I'm going to get back to you. So I just had my son in that small time. I got him home, got him safe, got him enrolled in school, got him signed up in all these sports, like in a span of a week. So, he's a different kid by the time she even goes back. But that following Friday, I show up because it's my weekend. We gonna play this. She don't know I got custody. At least bring me my kids because it's my weekend. She didn't show up. That Sunday, I get a call from the officer, the same officer. He's like, look, I reviewed it with the prosecutor. I'm going to see if she's going to show up, and so he called her. She said, yeah, I'll show up. But if he doesn't want to go with him, I'm not going to make him. So he told me that. He's like, well, I don't care what she says because it's not up to the kid. She's playing that. Right. And she would play that role. Like, if you see my sons, whenever they're around her, they're like acting scared of me because she's telling
like
them,
robots.
Yeah, oh, daddy's
going to kill you. This.
Yeah, daddy's gonna kill you. Daddy's gonna hurt you. She told my oldest boy I was gonna beat him for getting his hair braided. So he's running around like I go to see him at a parent teacher open house. He's running around scared of me. I'm like, son, what's wrong? He didn't tell me.
Let's talk about the asthma thing. She said she had asthma. Your sons had asthma, but then you took them to the doctor and
they don't.
They don't have asthma. She played this for so long because I really believe it's an issue with Munchausen by proxy.
Munchausen syndrome?
Yeah. Because
so tell people what that is, or do you want me to explain?
Go ahead.
So Munchausen syndrome is typically when it happens mostly with women, typically when a mother will use their child to get attention, sympathy, empathy from people. Like they'll say they're sick. A lot of times, if they are really sick, the mother is making them sick. And a lot of women have unalived their children who have Munchausen syndrome because they have either planned to do this to even get more sympathy. They'll continue to have kids, and each kid they'll do it with, or they'll go too far. They could be playing the game and they'll really, hurt them to the point that they unalive them. And so Munchausen syndrome is really one of those things, something kind of like parental alienation. It happens behind the scenes. A lot of people don't acknowledge it. They don't understand it because they believe the story. They automatically think this kid is sick. I don't know if people know about the story. I think it's the Lily Rose or something.
Rose, yep.
Yeah, well, her mother said she had cancer. She got all her teeth pulled, a lot of things. And fast forward, if you want to do it, Google it. It's a national, international story all over the TV, but and all over the apps. She ended up unaliving her mother. Her and her boyfriend once she got of age because of the trauma behind her with the Munchausen syndrome. Everything she stripped from this little girl, everything she did to her, she just stole her childhood basically and just kept her as a prisoner, making people believe she was sick. And she never had none of those ailments that her mom was talking about. And so that's Munchausen syndrome in a nutshell for you.
Man, that's messed up.
Bro, here's the thing. I've cured my kids of sensory issues, sensitive eyes, color blindness, sensitive ears, fear of basically everything from thunderstorms to random people, and asthma. This is everything I've cured my kids of since I've had them.
And can you prove that through like doctor appointment, anything medical papers?
Just, only the asthma. Everything else was just like her making reports saying.
Have you ever requested? Have you ever requested for her to go see somebody, talk to somebody, or
my last the last time when I filed for supervised visitation, I said supervised visitation, and I requested a mental health evaluation on her. I requested parenting classes. I requested anger management and basically job employability classes. I requested all that, man, because I want her to be a good mom. Yes. I want to like do better for your kid. Your kids deserve better.
Right. What is it gonna take? Because if it's really just about custody and a power struggle, then you really don't care about your kids. It's not about them. It's about you and what you want and how you want things to be and we already know, even with what they're going through, you are ruining them. You're ruining the chance that you could have to have a real relationship with these kids. It's a good thing that you have custody. This is a time that she should take to get herself together, to get her life together, and rebuild.
It's
So
a time for her to just
do you
pile shit up.
think possibly that's probably why she never wanted you to get your sons because of this issue or what it's called?
Because of Munchausen syndrome, maybe. I mean, if she was
I
getting
think it was,
like a lot of
yeah,
sympathy and empathy behind it, yeah, it fulfills them. They live for this. Like it feeds them.
yeah, it
Like
definitely
So
played a role.
I know you just mentioned that you just want her to get herself together, but what is your ultimate uh
and
yeah
go.
your ultimate end goal with this whole situation? Like what if it was a perfect world, how would that look for you?
Um, my kids are perfectly happy, healthy, strong, intelligent uh, people in society. That's what I want. I want my kids to be happy. I want them to be healthy. I want them to be, you know, free of trauma. This generational curse of trauma within, not just black people, but everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it carries on. You know what I'm saying? It carries on generationally. Like, and I don't want them being forced under somebody's rule because she hates me more than she loves them, that they
Right.
wind up hating women.
Right.
The last thing I want them to be is like, this is how women are. It's too many people in our community, too many men in our community who are just basically detest women. Like we got to admit it. And I don't want my sons, I want them to love women, more than me. You know what I'm saying? Not just physically, but just the spirit of a woman, how beautiful it is. And they don't have that archetype right now from the woman who gave them life. Now they'd have they got a better one from my wife. You know what I'm saying? I hate to sound like a broken record. My wife fills that gap, like fills that gap of what
No,
they
you're
You
need.
not
don't
a
sound
broken
yeah, it's not a
record. Because
broken
on
record.
this platform, it's a safe space, and that's what it is. This is what it is for us, right? And a lot of people don't receive it. They don't believe it. They don't understand it. But it ain't for them to.
It's it's one of them things, man. I wish I wouldn't wish what I have to go through on anybody, but I look at it like if anybody has to go through it, I'd rather it be me. I wouldn't wish it on somebody else. I'd rather it be me. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people like my friends used to look at me like, bro, you fighting the up. You ain't gonna win that. You ain't gonna win that battle, man. You are not going. You going to court again, bro? You ain't gonna
Yeah,
win that
we
battle.
we heard I heard the same thing. We heard the same things, man. And
And then got custody.
so it just don't sound realistic because a lot of men don't fight. But
Right.
man, look, I'm glad you said that because that's all you got to do is fight. He went off.
Probably some.
He
Well,
probably got a call or something like
yeah,
that or
something
something.
like that. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
definitely got to fight. Y'all see the proof every time we bring anybody up that's saying that they won custody. Y'all see it, and so not even if it's not winning full custody, if you can take action to be active and be a part of your kid's life so that you can play that role and be that person that they need outside of whatever else is going on with them, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what this is about.
Exactly.
You gotta fight.
You got to, and it's my buddy put it to me because he was like, man, you a fighter, you understand it. It ain't just boom, it's over. It's rounds to it. You may lose a
What's
round.
that beeping sound? Is that in your background?
Yeah, that's my oven.
Yeah, that's your. What's that? Your
That's my oven. I,
your oven. I was gonna
yeah.
say put some batteries in that smoke.
Hold on, real
You
quick.
know
I'm
we
sorry.
ain't changing smoke detectors. The whole time my husband sitting up here thinking it's our
Man,
oven.
look,
No,
man. Hey, it be like that
I'm
sometimes.
texting Briz like you turn the oven up. It ain't even our oven.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
but I try to tell everybody like who I come across like it's an ongoing fight. It's not a sprint.
Yes,
It's not one round. You gotta be prepared to lose. Yeah,
uphill battles.
appeal everything, and that's when they see an appeal and you can properly document them appeals. My magistrate used to look
No,
at
no,
me like,
I said uphill. Like it's a
uphill, uphill,
uphill
uphill.
battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It really is an uphill battle, and you got to be prepared for it not to work in your favor the first couple times. You got to be okay. You can't just give up. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many
Yep.
times. Like in the span of when I first started this, I've had to sit in that courtroom about almost 20 times, just to make sure that my kids live the life that they deserve, And I tell people, like, when you go and you fight for your kids, you're not awarded custody. You rescue your children. You are rescuing your children from something that is unfit, from something that they should not have to go through. My kids, man, if you see my kids, you'd be like, they had to go through this? I'm like, yeah. These little kids, these cheerful little cherubs, you know what I'm saying? They rambunctious and bounce off the wall. They're energetic. But they have some happy kids. And now I can let them be happy all the time without fear of, oh, we're making too much noise. It's
Well,
time
most
to get
of the
beat.
time, on your time.
Yeah.
But not to take away from what you're saying, because that's actually it. And for us, it's crazy because we actually was fighting at the same time as you. This is when our journey started during COVID, and it took 5 years. And people think that this stuff is instantaneous. Maybe for some, we haven't met many, right? People that fight these long battles and win custody, they will tell you this stuff is not, it ain't for the weak, baby. It's not for the faint of heart. If you want results like that, then you go to sleep. Maybe you'll get it in your
Yeah,
dreams.
because we actually made it. We actually made a year too, October 1st, right?
Yeah.
So
Congrats.
we actually made a year
Congrats to y'all.
too.
Yeah.
But
Salute to y'all.
so who is your biggest supporter?
My biggest supporter is my wife. And I lucked up because I have a circle of some of my friends, who go through the same thing, single fathers, or on the other end. And we would meet up every Friday with our kids. They come over here, we could, because we wanted to create a tribe, where our kids understand what men are, what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do as men. We take them out on little trips, camping trips, fishing trips. Let's go do something. Let's go to the farm. Let's learn something as men,
Mm-hmm.
And that support system really helped, because bro, like, you lose that custody, you lose a battle, it's like, damn, I'm down, the people who really give a care about you, it's going to be that close-knit friends, those close-knit friends who understand exactly what you're going through,
Yeah.
And then again, my wife, man, like, my wife had my back through all this, through all of it. Like, I had to, like, she seen me going through it before we got married. I turned to her one day, you ready for this? Because this is what it is. This is what you buying into. I do, like, are you ready for this? Because this is what it is. And she's like, yeah, baby, we good. You got to go through it. We got to go through it. And she was there holding me up, man. I can't lie, man. Ain't nothing like a good woman, man. Like a good woman that got your back genuinely. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It wasn't no vindictive thing. Like, I'm gonna take this woman's kids to prove I'm a better woman, and ha 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 in his face.
Yeah,
No, it's
and that was gonna be my next question. Like, what was some of the backlash she got? She was a pick me, and
my wife has been threatened with bodily harm. Like 2 weeks ago, she got ran up on, like, while she was because the way
what?
that my son's mom made my kids react, they're uncomfortable when both of us are around. So if it's one of our time, they're just gonna go with the person whose time it is, just
Yeah.
the way time it is.
Turn
So
into robots.
yeah, so they're walking off. My wife and my youngest son are walking off from soccer practice, and my wife is there. She's like, hey, come here, son, come here. And he's like, nah, mom, it's not your time today. It's not your time. It's not your time. She runs up, snatches my wife's arm, peels her fingers off her wrist, off my son's hand. Yeah. I mean, we went to
Please
court for
don't
this.
tell me that's what happened, man.
Man, what? Look, where your wife? I need to talk to your wife. Y'all, where y'all at? Ohio.
Yeah, dang.
What?
Let me tell you
So
something.
did your wife file something?
Yes, she filed a temporary restraining order. She tried to press charges on her. They don't do nothing out here, man. She couldn't get it because she didn't have no video, and they said it's got to be 2 acts of aggression before they can file it. I'm like, why are we gonna wait till this next one? My wife, she's ready to take drastic measures. Like, look, I'm not
I
gonna get
know.
ran up on no more. And I'm like, well, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things. Like, so she's in the thick of it. You know what I'm saying?
This is so triggering for me. Just hearing what she has to go through, like,
she's basically a bully. Like, my daughter's mom,
Man, that's
I'm sorry,
unbelievable.
my son's mom, she's a trained fighter. Like I said, I used to compete.
Oh my
I used to
God.
train. She even like before when we started messing around, she weaseled her way into my class one, and like she can throw down. You know what I'm saying? She ain't a little girl either. So I'm like, my wife ain't scared, but I'm like, I'm not gonna let it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not gonna let
Right.
it happen.
She don't have no reason and no beef with her. Leave
Right.
her out of
Why would
it.
you do that? Like,
You should be thanking her that she's taking care of your kids.
but she
Exactly.
the one that made it uncomfortable. This is why your son reacted like that.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. Because if you didn't make them feel uncomfortable prior to the custody change, when both of us are around, you know, it wouldn't have went down like that. You know, my son would have been like, "Hey, okay, mom, I'm gonna see you tomorrow or whatever."
And
Because he
I
was getting
bet
them
you
the next day.
she bad mouthing her, saying bad things to the kids. That's not your mother. I'm
Oh,
your
she do.
mother.
She
I
asked me
cook
every week.
better.
Every week, do you
What?
call her
Don't
mom?
say her
Do you call her
name.
mom? Yeah. So
It's just, I listen. If don't nobody know, I know. I know. So kudos to her. Like, let her know we rocking,
And
we
we
praying, we standing behind y'all 1000%.
yeah, man. And keep us posted, man, with everything, man. We
I will.
appreciate you.
I will. I will. I appreciate y'all,
As
man. Y'all
soon as
doing.
you come up out your court date, let
I
us know
will.
the outcome because we rooting for y'all. Like
Yeah.
we going through the same thing at the same damn time, and it's crazy because y'all dated in the past, and then like double back. It's like similar to our love story. Like it's crazy, but we really just
It's
it's
unbelievable.
unbelievable. It's too close. Like it's rare that we get a story
But
that's
she, I hope she'll, man. I hope she'll try to run up on her, man. I'm gonna be visiting the county jail and the prison and stuff, man.
listen. We went for exchange because crazy thing about our story, it was interstate. So this
Oh,
is Atlanta and Georgia and Texas, Houston, Texas.
ooh,
So we boom
man.
boom. We this man would drive 12 hours to go get his kids, and we would come back empty handed. You talking about a long commute like that? He didn't take a break. He didn't pull over. I don't even think he drunk no Red Bulls. He
Damn, bro.
never rolled up. I be telling him, baby, I'm gonna help you drive, and we'll get in the car, and I'll be
Yeah,
sleeping.
right.
We'll wake up in Atlanta. How we 12? What? One time we goes, and this is after similar with the CPS, and I ain't gonna be long winded because this ain't about us, but I just want to share this with you
Yeah.
because of what you've experienced. We get there, and this is after we lost the CPO after the abuse allegations, and she came to Texas and snatched them out of school, took them from us, right? We hadn't seen them in months. He go down there to try to exercise his visitation because the order's still in place. The original order's still in place. She tells the police there, they not enforcing the order. It's Texas, it's different state there. They not doing anything. She tells them, oh, CPS said that his visits have to be supervised. And CPS said this and that. And CPS don't hold no weight over no court order, sweetheart. And if CPS said that, where is the proof? So the police knew she was bullshitting. So boom, make a long story short, they didn't do anything. We left empty handed again. Do you know I sat in the car the entire time? Now, anybody that watch Who's the Deadbeat, anybody that know how we roll, they know I do not keep my mouth closed that long. I'm going to say something. This day, I said nothing. The only day I said nothing. This was over the weekend. Monday morning, the sheriff was knocking on my door with an ex parte stalking order. This woman put an order on me all the way in Atlanta,
Wow.
Georgia, said I've been stalking her.
Yeah. It get wild out here. Like I just want. I think it's like a mental. Like I
No, it's definitely a
because
mental
it's
illness.
it's 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 weird that all of these women is doing similar things
And we say
and
this all the
they don't even
time.
know each other.
We say this stuff all the time. Like it's a
It's
disconnect with the real world, but to them they are connected. Like they will join and get a force together and be saying this stuff, and they'll be speaking a language that don't none of us understand. Like I literally believe that it's a mental illness with any woman that withholds their child from their father due to no reasons, no real safety reasons, no real reasons. Because you don't
What?
like this man. So what? Why would you want your child to have the best possible
yeah.
happiness?
Well, so I think
Why?
society
He probably wasn't a good boyfriend, but that don't mean he's a bad
was bad
father.
dad, yeah. But
Yeah.
society has created a blueprint for people to follow. You know what I'm saying? And the women to follow in those situations
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, hey, if it don't work out, child support. And then if he ain't got child support, if ain't no custody order in place, I ain't got to give him the kids. Now he got to beg me. Now if he really want to go, he got to go pay this $80 or how much it is to file, and then wait some more time. There's a blueprint in place where our society, American society, has allowed them to operate in this way. No matter what state it is, they can all do that same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like something has to change. It was all that child support was put in place through Roosevelt because all the deadbeat dads leaving their kids. We're talking about 9-10 centuries later. Why are we still operating under that viewpoint? And we're
Because
still
they
operating.
capitalizing off of child support. We know it's
They
a
are.
business.
Woo-hoo.
And I feel so bad for all the people that reach out to us about child support. You know, that's not our lane because sometimes it actually will work in your favor to put yourself on child support or whatever, right? But the gist of it is we know that the family court system is not a good system that you want to be a part of.
It don't favor
So
me.
a lot of men just avoid it at all costs. And sometimes they walk away and they have been active dads and then they force them into being deadbeats.
Yes.
And so this is why we have to always ask, who's the deadbeat? Because what's really going on behind the scenes with this man that he's not being a part of this child's life? Is it really because he walked away? Or did you alienate this kid, try to ruin his life, put him through all these things to the point that he chose himself? That happens because they say a woman can do it. We was just talking about the other day. Rapper, who was it? Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
He has a disabled son, and
Mhm.
at birth the mother walked away. Do you know they were defending her in the comments? Well, at least she made the decision to know that she couldn't take care of a kid, and she did the right thing. But he didn't walk away, and he took his son, and he's been caring for his son since day one. But let that have been the other way around. Oh, he's a deadbeat. He's an absent father. He's a good for nothing.
Disgusting.
She's single. Yeah. Give her these benefits. Give her that. Give her it's crazy to me. But this is why we here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
I didn't mean to cut you off. What you was
Oh
going
no,
to say?
I attribute it to what I call the fallopian sisterhood and their mentality, where basically, oh well, there's a standard across the board where all these dudes are deadbeats, and you know the woman can do no wrong. You know she's not a deadbeat for walking out of her child's life just because he wasn't perfect. You know, oh no, it's something because oh man, just that the woman empowerment movement was necessary, but there's a point where it's become toxic, you know, where these women just feel they can do no wrong no matter what. They're going to always give every woman the benefit of the doubt. I'm all for giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, but there has to be a limit to it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that don't sound too right. Instead of be like, you know, so that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. I just, you know, I want to thank y'all because I randomly found y'all page one day and I was like, this is beautiful because the fact that you all talk about, you know, parental alienation, it needs to be talked about more because it happens and how detrimental it is to a children's psyche, and their well-being, you know, that needs to be brought to the forefront. And y'all are doing that, man. So I commend y'all, applaud y'all, and I'm here to support y'all any way I can, man, because you know this needs to happen. You know, there needs to be more networks of good fathers, you know, fighting and for their kids and educating other fathers who need to be educated on what needs to happen. And y'all got a phenomenal platform, man. So, you know,
thank you
my
so
wife
much.
just found out about y'all.
Love to you.
Yeah,
Your
my
family.
wife just found out about y'all. She
Keep
love
us
y'all.
posted.
It's man. We be needing to hear that, man, because you don't
getting attacked from every angle.
You don't understand the hard work that we put in and day out. It's not about dollars. It's not about likes. This is our life. We really doing
It's about these kids,
and it's about these kids.
And they think it's so father focused to a fault because this is what's happening. Like, how could you? This is the numbers. What are we supposed to do about that? Like, we know that this can happen to women. We know that all women ain't bitter. We know that all men ain't deadbeats. But at the end of the day, y'all want us to what? Be silenced? No, we did that when we had to fight for custody.
And we gonna give it to the raw. So how it comes
and give all these men voices and all these alienated parents and children voices.
That's the problem. People don't see it in the raw what be really going on behind the scenes. And that's our job. We giving it to you exactly how it is.
Yep.
Because a lot of fathers, we don't talk about our situation. Oh man, she did this. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. It's don't nobody want to hear it. You a man, deal with it.
Deal with it. Exactly.
But these women be playing these games behind the scenes and playing psychologically damaging these kids' mind to dislike their father behind the scenes and playing these games. And it's time for it to come to the light. That's the only way we're gonna raise awareness. It's the only way we can go over this hurdle that we in.
And yes, we so grateful and humble because we not talking this just because we read the article or watched the movie. Like, this is our lives. We lived it. We're living it.
Okay.
And so it's nothing nobody can tell us. There's nothing nobody can say to us when you look in them kids' faces and you see that hurt and pain. Like, we don't hear that. We don't hear that noise y'all talking. Like, share, comment, and that's it. That's all you can do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell somebody that tell somebody. That's the best you can do. Because trying to stop us, that's a waste of time.
Absolutely, because until the people that's not affected by it understand it,
it's gonna
keep happening. Keep happening. Yeah.
All right, but appreciate you, man.
Thank you have a good night, brother. You have a good night.
Too, man.
Keep us posted.
And man, I want
that video.
I want that video because that is crazy.
I'm gonna send y'all some videos. Believe me.
That's crazy, man.
Some videos.
We'll do. Y'all take it easy, man. Appreciate y'all.
Good night.
Yep.